The interesting part is there were specialized SaaS companies in the past, for instance, for mortgage underwriting, that took just two different documents, compared them with each other. And it's like back in the days, you had to have a scanner with OCR that extracts the text from it. All of this can be done right now by just posting the image, and it extracts the meaning behind it and does the comparison all in one step in a way. And that has been like for a very long time as the holy grail and something very hard to do. And now this is like you open up your calculator and it does 1 + 1. It's a given. It's a standard. So I would really think that these LLMs are like replacing what a modern world calculator is in a way. They calculating the next words. They calculating what the reason is behind that. Yeah. I do think this is like also Sam Altman laid that out in his sort of, these are the multiple levels of AI. And right now we're in that level 3 sort of area that is like talking about agentic workflows and reasoning. Even a year ago, I think a big buzzword was agents, and that LLMs are just consumed by agents. And there are these millions of these agents that do these tasks. We see that now in reality with O1 preview, where reasoning is suddenly something that is very important. And what happens under the hood there is this sort of chain of thought that allows you to break down a complex task into its smaller steps and then reason about them, and have then smaller agents that are maybe specialized in one specific aspect of these steps to execute them. And then at the end, all of this comes together and gets merged, and the outcome happens as a big blog post, for instance, that is very thoroughly like researched on a PhD level. And that's what we saw with O1 preview. And now I think they announced today that O1 is even better than O1 preview. And I think this is just the beginning, actually. There will be more and more of these reasoning models coming out. There will be multiple architectures that support more memorization, more bigger context size. My like hint for the future in 2025 will be that there are like models out there that have a higher context size window. So these agent use cases and reasoning use cases are actually even better and more enabled. And then from there, we see also iterations on like experimentations with what type of architectures do we have that come up with the best reasoning. Look, data is really the key here. And the big companies that have petabytes of data and training their LLMs and agents on that data and those interactions, they have an advantage, because what that ultimately does, it reduces the amount of hallucination. But even if in one step is just 1% hallucination risk, if you do in these agentic workflows multiple steps and each of them has a 1% chance, that's not that SLA that an enterprise actually wants with the 99.9999% sort of accuracy rate. So there needs to be another breakthrough really in reducing these hallucinations. That could be architecture, but that also is about providing the right data. Because you can reduce these hallucinations, but not by not making it foundational, means generalistic, but like choosing smaller models that are specifically trained for various aspects. Think of it as you do find like a specialized PhD in biology versus in mathematics. I think if you would switch sort of the themes, there could be hallucinations happening as well, though both are highly intelligent, both are highly specialized in a way. And that's, I think, what happens when you provide your data. And that's what we provide on our platform as well. We provide you the option to have proprietary data uploaded that has been siloed in your organization. We see that with a lot of bigger organizations, actually, that they sit on this treasure of data that they didn't know how to monetize. Now is the time to actually tap into that treasure and start using that data for these AIs and agents so they can take advantage of it. And the side product of this is actually less hallucinations, more personalization, but also at the same time giving you a moat, defensibility with your competitors. Because a year ago, before agents really came into the topic, there was this idea of, oh, you're just a wrapper on top of these foundational models. But what we're actually seeing is these foundational models, coming back to the calculator like comparison, are just one tool in a bigger tool chain of things where data is even equally or even more important, and combined that really gives you a sort of specialized AI experience that just you have and not your competitor. And so data is the new oil, is the gold on which you're sitting in this treasure. And by providing the right data to the right AI, you have this huge unlock of productivity. And then to sum this up, I think hallucination is sometimes not a bad thing. sometimes it's really a thing that we want, particularly when you're thinking about creative writing, when you're thinking about things where you have, as a human, maybe limitations, or you have not have that outside of the box thinking. Sometimes really what helps are these hallucinations that help you to think about something differently and get your idea going into a direction that you haven't had if you had not that rifting with the AI that hallucinated.